What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The David Lopez Show, presented by Passion Park ENT. I should put some auto-tune on that and make that just go crazy with it. Welcome back to another episode. Apologies for being off last week, but I hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks, I suppose, here. I hope everything's going well. I hope you have heard my new song, Shoot or Shoot, is out everywhere now. It is available on all streaming platforms or wherever you listen to your music. So please check that out. Go to www.thedavidlopez.com to find all my new music. That song will be right there on the homepage. And all that good jazz. If you want to, check out my music videos, watch some videos, buy some merch, you can do that all at thedavidlopez.com. You can also do all that plus a little bit more at www.passionparkent.com. That's going to have some more information about our events and all that stuff. And as I've been saying the past, 10 episodes, we are going to start the showcase up very soon. I was actually at a venue last night talking to the GM, and I think we might have a spot. So long story short, if you go to the homepage of passionparkent.com, if you're an artist who's looking for a stage to perform at, make sure you submit right there. There's no, we're not charging artists to perform. We just pick artists that we like. I go through all of those, whether you're a musician, comedian, painter. I mean, honestly, whatever art, we're willing to make our events unique every month because it's a monthly thing that we try doing here. So please go there and submit. We would love to have you on a show sometime. So that'd be great. And like I said, I was just talking to this GM last night of this venue, and he seemed pretty optimistic. I just sent another follow-up email, so I'm hoping that we can find that and get the show on the road, baby. I want to get back on stage. I haven't been on stage in a while, man. I think the last time I was Des Moines, Iowa, actually, on January 3rd. So I think this is my longest gap without a show in, man, years. Because I guess it's been, 3 months then. Yeah, because January, February, 2 months, 2 full months. And, I guess it's not a crazy amount of time, but I really haven't taken much time off of getting on stage for a while, especially when we were running the show every month. I mean, it was that's an easy way to get on stage. Even if it's not a full set for me, it's still me hosting. Maybe I do a song or two here. So, yeah, I'm excited to get that going again. I really want to do that. I'm trying to book some more show dates. Actually, I haven't really tried too in-depthly, but I do want to book some solo show dates, just me getting on the road. But my priority right now is getting the showcase going. Because I feel like if we get that showcase going right, and I have the right amount of help, and we just get a steady crowd for that, that's going to help everything, including my solo career and whatnot. So anyways, that was me just expunging on that. This is another solo dolo sports episode, as we are pretty much doing all the time now, and I thoroughly enjoy doing. I actually got to see some friends that I haven't seen in a while this past weekend at one of my good friends' 1-year-old's birthday. That's the age that I'm at now. All my friends have kids, and they all have birthday parties for their kids. So the adults just drink while the kids run around. It's pretty great. But anyways, I had a couple people there mentioning to me, you still doing the podcast, all that stuff. So, and as I've said to everybody, yeah, this is a long-term, I love that people are noticing this, even though it's not I know I don't have a huge crowd. You can go on YouTube, see the views. I know it's not crazy. I know that. But just the consistency of doing it, and just the fact that I get to talk about sports every week is something that I've always wanted to do. And now that I have this format where I can just do it from my crib, with podcasts, I think it's opened up a whole new window. Basically, I went to school for sports journalism. I went to school for radio. I had 2 radio shows in college. I could have just went the route of doing that, but that would have required probably me moving to some small town, getting on a small market or a college market or something like that. And I was not interested in that. But I was rather interested in creating my own art. And it just has come full circle because of this whole podcast thing, that it is a lot. The podcast thing is taking over radio anyway, so it almost is a better route to go this route than to go the traditional. Although you would have learned more, being behind the boards and all that. But it's cool. So this podcast is not stopping. That's basically what I'm trying to say there. Just rambling on here. So I appreciate all the support that we've gotten over the past couple of years. And we're gonna begin in some fun ways here today. Not even some fun, whatever. We're talking baseball or basketball, baseball, football, and then a couple nuanced things, side things. But I want to start with basketball, but not what you would think. We're not talking the NBA. We're not talking Duke, D1. We're not talking Kansas. We're not talking Baylor. We're talking D3, baby. D3 hoops. Well, March Madness is about to begin for D3. For those of you who don't know, I played Division III basketball myself. I'm not expecting people to know details and stuff like that. I really just want to share the fact that I got to go back as an alumni. Now you have like, I'm like now 8 years removed from graduating. You know, I don't know, feelings change and all that stuff. Now I'm just like a proud alumni guy. I went back to one of their games in the tournament and I was cheering loudly like, oh, dude. So that was really awesome. But both the colleges I went to, because I went to a college my freshman year, played there. We were really good, and I transferred. And then I transferred to Concordia and played the rest of the 3 years there. But both of my colleges, Elmhurst, where I went my freshman year, and Concordia, Wisconsin, where I went the rest and graduated, they both won their conference tournaments, and they're both going to be playing in the Division III National Tournament starting on Friday. So congratulations to you guys. Congratulations, Elmhurst Blue Jays. Congratulations, Concordia Falcons. I am a proud former student and just like proud former athlete and former player. Just getting to go watch those guys is it's cool. It brings back memories from my playing days and stuff like that, and just all the good times. And getting to see former teammates and stuff reminds you, like, even when you had shitty times out there, it's like, yeah, but I got these like bonds forever that we all are super close, and so it's great. I just that's my advice to anybody. If you really love playing, keep playing. Don't stop. Like, there's going to be a lot of deterrence on the way. The thing you'll be proud of most at the end probably is the fact that you didn't quit. That's how I feel. The first tattoo I ever got on my arm was when I was 18. I was going to college. It says never give up. My mom was so upset that I got the tattoo, but she was happy in the message, really. And I got to be honest, I'm happy in it too. Happy with it. I'm proud of how wise the 18-year-old me must have been, because that is pretty much what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of our successes as teams. I mean, I forgot. I added up my record once. My record in college was like 120 and like 15 or something like that. Like I had a very good win-loss record, but I think what I'm most proud of is for sure that I played all 4 years and never let anything sway me or whatever. Through those ups and downs. So shout out to them. Shout out to Elmhurst. Shout out to Concordia. Good luck this weekend. They got some tough matchups. But hopefully one of them can squeeze out at least one victory, get to the second round. Concordia's got a really tough matchup with Platteville, who, if anybody's familiar, they're always good, and they're at Platteville, so that's going to be tough. I made the national tournament twice in my 4-year career. Both times were at-large bids, which is very rare. I think we got the only at-large bid in our conference history, actually, because we lost in the conference tournament, but our season was that good that we got the at-large bid. So that was cool. I just wanted to make sure I noted that. And some great highlights, by the way. There's a dude on Concordia who's got some crazy sick ups. Actually, there's a couple of dudes who got some good ups, and they got a lot of athletes. Nowadays, it's funny. Once somebody does something in any sport, then more people start to do it because you start to realize, oh, it can be done. It's like that threshold. It's like the 4-minute mile thing where it's like nobody thought that could be done, and then all of a sudden it was done, and then now people do it. Like it's like the 360 windmill or whatever it is. Any next nut 360 through the legs, people thought it couldn't be done, and then now everybody's doing it or whatever. It feels that way with younger people and just dunking and all that stuff. It's like, man, not everybody's got ups. But I saw a crazy reverse tomahawk from a D3 game, and I'm just like, whoa. And then I saw a dude on Concordia have 45 in a D3 game. So I'm like, this was one of the more entertaining Division III basketball games I've got to see. So shout out to them. Keep hooping. Get a win this weekend, guys. Another basketball thing that I wanted to mention because it's been frustrating me. So I saw Ryan Russillo and Bill Simmons. I listen to them all the time, right? If you're not familiar, they're just they're journalists, basketball guys. They have a podcast. They each have their own podcast, but they do stuff together all the time, right? Ryan Russillo brought up the point. And I noticed it in another game, and then I just noticed it again. It was like, how come all these people at the end of games, even when you're losing, are trying to be polite and they'll just hold the clock out and get a shot clock violation, take the turnover. So you're down 10, game's over, you have the ball, and there's like 8 seconds left, but there's 4 on the shot clock. You just hold it out, get the turnover. Every time, when I was growing up, people would still be shooting. I don't give a fuck if there's no time left or if you're winning by 10 and the shot clock's about to run out, now everybody just holds it. I don't care. I'm like, just shoot it. Like, I don't understand. People are that sensitive that you can't shoot the ball with 10 seconds left. It's disrespectful. I hate it. Especially if you're somebody who comes off the bench. You don't get to play that much. You get the last 2 minutes of a blowout. They put you in. And now those, like, 3 of those possessions, you're supposed to not shoot or do anything because that's the etiquette. Fuck out of here. I hate that shit. I hate how sensitive people are being about this. I don't understand it. Like, just play basketball till the horn goes off. Play till the game is over. Like, what, you're offended because I took a shot after the buzzer? Like, or whatever? Like, come on, man. Like, I hate that shit. So Russillo brought that up, but then I saw it like 3 more times. I saw it last night when I was watching an NBA game at the end of the game. I think I saw it in a college game the other day. It's just all the time. I just don't get it. Whatever. It's not going to change the game. I don't like it. I just don't like it. So that was my rant on that. If you agree, let me know. And the best game I got to watch this week, NBA wise, was a Sunday night. The Pelicans versus the Lakers. Zion versus LeBron. They played on Thursday night too, or they played the week before and then they played again. But that was entertaining, man. Zion is so good. LeBron is not letting up. LeBron is starting to shoot like these Steph Curry type shots from half court now, and he's just consistently hitting them. But the sequence where Zion goes in the paint, jump step, and just tomahawk, and then they pass up to LeBron and he pulls up from half court, was probably the best sequence in the NBA all season. That was amazing. The thing about Zion, he's so good. He's so efficient. He had 35 in that game, but he doesn't dominate the game yet, like in a way where like every possession, give him the ball, the play's going to run through him, he's going to do something. Like that's not, I don't know, like LeBron, he has so much control over the game, obviously, and I'm not trying to compare the two. He's a 20-year veteran, but he has so much control over the game, and so his stamp is all over it. Zion's stamp is like efficiency right now. He'd be like 11 for 16 from the field, 35 points. Like that's fucking crazy. That's awesome. But it just doesn't feel like in the flow of the game there's a complete dominance to it. But I will say this. He might be carrying them to a 8th seed. They're very close to getting that 8th seed, which would match them up with the Lakers in the first round. And that would be a very entertaining first round. I'd say that the Lakers would win in either 5 or they would sweep. But the one thing that would be entertaining is the Pelicans can kind of score with the Lakers. They can kind of keep up with them scoring-wise. They can't guard them. As Josh Hart was trying to guard LeBron, it was a joke. They can't guard the Lakers, but they could probably score with them. So I think it would be really entertaining as far as just fun to watch. So that'll be that is something to note. I really enjoyed watching that. I watched a little of the Lakers last night as they played the Sixers too. And then one final NBA note is this big debate about Rookie of the Year. So we're sticking with Zion. Zion has been playing so well in his first, I'm going to call it 15 games. I think we're right around that range right now. He missed over half the season with an injury. And he's been playing amazing. I mean, I don't know what he's averaging, but it's somewhere in that 20 range. He's had a couple 30-point games. He's just been dominating. Their team is now surging, But Ja Morant has been playing very consistent all season. I think he's averaging like 17 points, 8 assists, something like that. Very good. That team is in the 8th seed. And he's played all year. So people are now saying, is Zion a potential Rookie of the Year? Look, if Ja Morant plays the rest of the season, and say he doesn't, say he misses 10 games, so he played 70 games, or say he misses 12 games, plays 70 games, and Zion ends up playing 35 games. That's double the games. I don't care if Zion averages 20 points and 10 rebounds. If Ja's averaging 17 and 8 and their team is in the 8th seed, or they're competing, both of them are competing for each other. Frankly, if you play double the games, there's just no way. Like, Ja Morant has to win Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. Even if they get the 9th seed and Zion gets the 8th seed, I just think Ja still has to win it as long as he's playing at a high level. So I gotta go with that. That's my opinion on that. Zion, if he had played 20 more games, I think this would be a contest. But he is so good, and he might be the better player. I mean, to have these two guys as the 1 and 2 pick and really panning out is awesome for the NBA. I mean, look at the NBA's future right now. You got Trae Young, Luka Doncic, and both of them are just lighting shit up. DeAndre Ayton, actually, he's it's a former. I mean, he's a big man, so that's not really how the league plays, but he's actually playing very well. So DeAndre Ayton, and then you got Ja and Zion. I think there's a lot of really, really young, good talent in the NBA right now. Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball. I think the Pelicans, if they can stay together, could be good. They're probably still missing a piece or two that can evolve. But if Zion evolves into like the superstar that we think, and then Brandon Ingram stays at an all-star level, and Lonzo Ball, when he's around him with the right people, man, I like his game a lot. He likes to give it up. He just has a good feel for the game. So I'm a fan. I think they could be good in a year or two, I'd say. If they get one more piece, they could really make some noise. It's just the West is so good. It's tough to predict in the NBA. You never know with all the moving pieces. Maybe they'll just trade Zion. To the Bulls? No, somebody reminded me, though. The Bulls started 3-20 2 years ago. They were trying to tank. And then all of a sudden, Nico Mirotic comes back. And I think this was the year that DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic went. And by the way, the Bulls would have ended up picking Marvin Bagley first instead of Luka Doncic because they're fucking idiots. But I wanted Luka the whole time. But then Nico Mirotic comes back when the Bulls are 3-20 and they go on this winning streak and they win games. And then they don't tank. And then they get the 7th pick. What is this shit? Consistent Bulls failures. Boylan doing some Boylan shit again. He called a timeout when the Bulls had a layup on a back cut. It's a joke. It's a joke. Oh, man. Moving on from hoops, though. We're going to step into a little baseball stuff. As you know, baseball has spring training has begun. The season's kind of around the corner at the end of the month. The season opens. Cubs open up in Milwaukee. Not sure where the Sox open up. Got to check that out. But the things that have been going on the Cubs side is mostly TV related. At least what I want to talk about is the Cubs got this new marquee network, right? Similar to what other teams have done, where they make their own network. It's literally 24-hour Cubs coverage. It's kind of cool. I mean, they'll have like spring training. They'll have Cubs convention stuff on. They'll have all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. But that being said, they don't have the distribution to every cable service or whatever outlet right now. So in Chicago, RCN picked it up. So a lot of people have RCN cable network. That's a local for Chicago. And so a lot of people who have that have marquee. Like my parents have that. They have marquee. Comcast services, I think, over 50% of Chicago. And they do not have it. So over 50% of Chicagoans will not have marquee network, which is, the only place you can see Cubs games right now, unless it's a national game like a ESPN game. Hulu TV, Hulu Live just agreed with Marquee, so they have a deal. So if you have Hulu Live, you get it. YouTube TV, it just came out and said that they do not have an agreement. I got YouTube TV. I just signed up for YouTube TV. And I'm very happy with it, to be honest, except for the little delays on the streaming, whatever. It's worth it money-wise. I'm saving a lot of money from cable. But they don't have it. So YouTube TV, so like there is this growing just concern in Chicago that people aren't going to be able to see Cubs games. And to match with the fact that the White Sox have a lot of positive energy going towards them this year, they're looking like they're going to be pretty good. They have a lot of momentum going into this season, I'd say. And so it's like the combination in Chicago of Cubs fans aren't going to get to see the Cubs and the Sox are going to be good and in your face. Very interesting mix right now. So I think in the long run, Marquee will prove to be the good move for the Cubs. It'll generate more income. Hopefully they'll be able to give out more big deals to these superstar players. I mean, it's what Theo and the front office is trying to do. They're trying to own all the revenue of the Cubs and trying to get as many dollars as they can. It just sucks that you have to exile some, long-time Cubs fans because of that. Hopefully Marquee can come up with some agreement with these networks because people want to see the Cubs. I mean, it's a staple of people's lives. I mean, some people, that's what they expect, from March until September, they want to be able to wake up and watch a Cubs game or whatever it is, So that's a big deal. And sticking with baseball real quick. I don't want to, I've talked about the Astros channel like almost every week, but it's so fucking intriguing to me. But A-Rod made some awesome comments. He just was saying how the cheating was wrong, cheating people out of a championship was wrong, all that stuff. But then the lack of apologies or seeming sympathetic or seeming remorseful is what people are really mad about. Just the way he phrased it, because he talked about how he served the longest suspension in MLB history because he admitted about his steroid use. I mean, he did come out and have like this, he had like some sincere apologies. He's really turned his image around. And he was just saying how like a sincere apology would change everything, like how A-Rod served the longest suspension in MLB history. He's getting a lot of praise from the Twitter world they're not calling him shade at all. They're just like casting shade on him. They're straight up just giving him props for acknowledging that, if you apologize and handle it the right way, you'll at least, you can be, it might take time, but the recovery road is possible. It just might take time. You can't just be an arrogant asshole and not remorseful at all. I mean, which is essentially what the Astros have been. So I thought that was a really good comment by A-Rod. I thought him bringing that, I don't know if he was on a radio show or what. I just heard it this morning on Get Up. And then I was talking with somebody at this bar last night. Actually, what I mentioned, I went to this venue to check it out last night, and we were talking about baseball because this guy loved baseball. He was a Mets fan actually. Actually, I learned that Gary Sheffield is Dwight Gooden's nephew. Didn't know that. That's for all my old baseball heads or old baseball fans who know that. So the talk was like somehow the Astros thing came up, the cheating thing came up, and his thought was like, man, it really could happen where the Astros are the fuck you champions. Like, what if all this shit comes out and they still end up winning a fucking championship this year or something like that? They're like, they have such a good year because they have all this anger, which, by the way, is a great fuel for them. And then they end up winning the championship without any cheating and what if in 10 years something comes out that they found another way to cheat? That would be even more interesting. But could the Astros be the fuck you cheaters? I think that's an interesting conversation point because everybody thought they were the most talented team. They're so young. They have another really good young guy who's coming up who wasn't involved in the cheating scandal. Would the baseball world hate it so much if the Astros figured out a way to win the championship this year particularly. But could they be that? I'm going to go with no, they're not going to win because here's the thing. Because this guy that I was saying, he was like, Well, that it's just so annoying that they cheated because they were good enough to win without the cheating. Were they? Do we know that for certain? I mean, we know they were good, but all the numbers indicate that they were cheating and that the home away splits in the playoffs, they might not have won. I mean, they would have lost to Kershaw that one year. I mean, they might not have won. So I don't know if that's the, like, oh, they could have won without this. Why'd they do that? I don't know if they could have won without it. I think that's part of the reason they did it. They're like, look, fuck it. We're going to get this ring no matter what. Let's just do this shit. Like, and it hasn't been taken away from them. So, they were right. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with if I had to take the Astros or the field, I'm gonna go with the field. But if somebody puts money on the Astros and they win it all, I wonder what the numbers are there and how much you would win. That'd be an interesting bet. Also, to be the one guy cheering for them when everybody else is like, "Fuck you guys," would be an interesting situation to put yourself in. And then finally, I have. Oh yeah, fine. Actually, I have a couple more things I want to just briefly say before I got to get going here this morning on this hump day. So the Brady, I've talked about Tom Brady, bring him to the Bears. No, but reports are really coming out that the Brady to the 49ers thing is a serious possibility, which would really have this quarterback carousel going wild, right? So if this does happen, let's just hypothetically say Brady goes to the Niners, which means the Niners have to get out of the Jimmy G contract, which apparently they can do for a couple million. It's not as bad as it could be. So they get out of that. Jimmy G goes to New England. Hopefully we're setting up for a Niners-Patriots matchup with Jimmy G versus Brady. That'd be cool. And then everything else would fall into place. I think they were like Phillip Rivers to Indianapolis, Teddy Bridgewater to San Diego, Andy Dalton to I don't even remember where they said. And then they said Jameis Winston to the Bears. One of those things. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears get somebody like Jameis or something like that, who's just like fake competes with Mitch and then Mitch wins it. I don't know. But could you imagine that NFL season would just be writing itself if the Patriots have Jimmy G and the Niners have Brady and they both already have great squads? First off, I'll say this. The Niners are better than the Patriots without the quarterback. So if we're not worrying about the quarterbacks. So I would definitely put more money on the Niners making the Super Bowl with Brady than I would on the Jimmy G Patriots with the similar roster that they had making the Super Bowl. I don't think that would happen. But but that would be, the storylines would write themselves. I haven't looked at the NFL schedule, but hopefully they match up with the regular season. That'd be amazing. That would just be phenomenal. Can you imagine? Has to be a Monday night game or a Sunday night game. Sunday night game probably. Because then that would be great. Oh, okay. Had to mention that. All right. And then finally, that Wilder versus Fury matchup that happened a couple weeks ago now, because I didn't get to talk last week about it. I got to go out and watch that, though, and that was wild. Wilder just got his ass whipped, man. But I'm sure you guys have heard stuff about it. My wife, who's a physical therapist, literally he gets knocked down in the third round and immediately goes, he's concussed, because he just looked like a little off balance. And then he fought like 4 or 5 more rounds, and she was like, he's concussed the whole time. He has no power in it. He has no balance. He just looks off. His eyes kind of look weird. So she knew it. And then the fight gets called. But they announced the round 3. They're going to have a third fight because there's a clause in there. Wilder exercised the clause to have a rematch, which would be July 18th in Vegas. See, I wanted to bring this up because my 30th birthday is July 16th. I'm like, should I spend my 30th in Vegas for this fight? You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be entertaining. I'm going to go with Wilder's going to win the rematch. And then there's going to be another rematch, because then it would be a draw and 2 wins and then a rubber match, essentially. So that's my thought. They're going to get as much money out of this as they can. They're going to really screw Anthony Joshua out of getting any really good title fight until after all this. And he lost to Ruiz. It's kind of deservedly so. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, Fury looked like a beast. I mean, those 42 pounds really, really helped him out. So that was good. July 18th, though, we got the other matchup. I'm already gonna put my money on Wilder right now, just because I think they both want to have another matchup to get more money. Not that I think it's in their heads, and they're fighters, so they're instinctually, they just want to, it's not like I'm saying they're throwing it. I just, in my head, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. And then before I get out of here, I just have like one thing I was thinking about that has nothing to do with sports. People do it all the time. I do it all the time. How come, and I can't figure this out, it's got to be some sort of psychology thing, something in your brain where you're thinking of what to say before, but how come it always happens a lot of times where people will be like, I said, like, you'll be in a conversation, somebody will be like, what'd you say? What'd you do yesterday? Or whatever. And you're just be like, I said that I was gonna do this, and like the I said is the first thing. Like sometimes I say it in my head, where it's like I said this, but I said doesn't really fit in the sentence. It just comes out. I don't think I'm doing a great job of explaining this, but I feel like you guys know what I'm talking about. Where you're just like, I said this was gonna be. It's like Billy Madison, or not Billy Madison, Waterboy. We say, I said, mama, I said. But I just feel like that happens. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. Let me know. Where you're just like, it's like in your head, you're already having the conversation before the conversation starts, and you're like, what I said though, and it's like, this isn't anything I've said. This is something I'm currently saying, but it's like I said. You say in past tense. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me what that is. I don't get it. I don't get it. Also, one other funny note is I don't remember if I said this on the last episode. I don't think I was. I was at the gym, and I was shooting around, and then somebody asked me to play in a game of 32. If you don't know, 32 very similar to 21. It's just whatever. It's like a pickup game, just one-on-one. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll get some shots up. Next thing I know, this dude pulls out his tripod, puts his camera on it, and says, all right, let's play. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? That to me is what society is now. You got to get it on camera. It's all for the gram, baby. It's all for the gram. All right, cool. That's this episode. That's it. That's all I got, guys. I got shit to do. I got to get to work now. But I love talking to you guys, and I'm glad for having all of the audience that I do. I'm glad for all the support that I've gotten. I'm really happy. So keep tuning in to The David Lopez Show, presented by Passion Park ENT. I'll be back next week with another episode. Probably just talking shit like I normally do. Please make sure you go to www.thedavidlopez.com. Check out my new song, Shoot or Shoot. It's available wherever you listen to music. I produced it myself. I am very proud of it. It's a fun little record, so I hope you enjoy it. And go to www.passionparkent.com for anything else. And just stay tuned. Have a great weekend, and enjoy yourself, people. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. One love.